Hi, family, and welcome back to Glorious Decor and More with Evangelist Grace. And yes, it's another more video, and I thank you all so much for returning. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel because we're trying to be monetized, we're trying to grow, and once we do, and I know we will because we have the faith, okay? We, who is the we? It's the cell groups and I, and the gathering, the fellowship of the believers. We don't have a building. We go from house to house. We're cell groups. We travel Florida, Alabama, and Georgia and spread the oil of the gladness of the kingdom of heaven and Jesus' power to save. Jesus' power to heal. Today, I'm going to make a peach cobbler. I saw this recipe on YouTube, and I've tried it, and I like it. I hope you will. It's simple, it's easy, it's with store-bought cake mixture, and it's great. So, let's get started here. Okay, I'm going to pivot the camera around, okay? Okay, here we go. I hope you can see that. I can see it, so I'm hoping you can. And I'm going to preheat my oven. I'm putting it on bake. I'm putting it on 400 degrees, okay? And it's going to preheat while I do the other. It's going to bake about 30 to 40 minutes, okay? And then voila, we'll have our peach cobbler. So what I normally do is I spray my cooking pan. Here I have a thrifted clear, I call it casserole dish, baking dish, and I'm going to spray it. Yes, I spray. And then I add some melted butter. Now this butter, it said grade AA. I don't know what that means. But this butter was in my food bank haul, and I'm using it for my peach cobbler, okay? I have melted the butter, and I'm pouring it a little in the pan, the baking dish, okay? And I move it around, I'm old-fashioned, and I get the bottom nice and coated. Then I'm taking a can, which also came from the food bank, of Del Monte sliced peaches in heavy syrup, okay? Juice and all. I'm pouring it in the pan, okay? I am then taking a can of Great Value sliced peaches, and it says yellow clean peaches in heavy syrup. And yes, I'm using the juice of that too. A lot of people don't use the juice off of 2 cans. They use the juice off a can and then drain the second can. I don't do that because I love the juice in my peach cobbler, okay? So I pour it there. And then I take a little ground cloves. This is by McCormick. I hope you can see this. And I simply sprinkle a little cloves. Okay, and then I take a little bit of ground nutmeg. I hope you can see this. All of these items came from the food bank, okay? And I sprinkle a little nutmeg. I already had some cinnamon, and this did not come from the food bank. And then I take about a half teaspoon of cinnamon, a little bit more. Okay, I have allspice, and I take about a half teaspoon of allspice. Now, a lot of people don't like the nutmeg and allspice, but I do. Okay, and this is the container in which I keep my brown sugar. Now, you can use light or dark brown sugar. I prefer the dark, and I put about a 1/4 cup of the sugar because I don't like it real sweet. Now, here I'm using a spoon, so I'm eyeing it, but I make and cook a lot, so I kind of can eye it, but you can measure if you like. And I take and I put what I eye to be about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I do not use the white sugar simply because I use enough brown sugar. And then I give this a quick stir, okay, to blend the flavors. Okay, now I'm not using gloves, I realize that, but I've washed my hands, and no one eats this but me, because I live alone, so it's okay. Yes, that's sweet enough. I'm not putting it back in the bowl, but it is sweet enough. Okay, now I have Betty Crocker Super Moist Cake Mix, and it's yellow. You can use any cake mix that you choose. I got what was on sale. So Betty Crocker Super Moist Cake Mix from the Dollar General. Okay, so then I've already taken it out of the bag, and yes, it did come in there, and I take this and I sprinkle over my peaches. Now, I only use enough to cover. It's about a 1/4 bag left, and I let that be, okay? And I take my spoon, I have another spoon, clean one, and I spread it evenly. I don't stir, I just spread it evenly. All right, then I actually take a little bit more cinnamon, and I sprinkle it on top of the cake mix. Okay, about a teaspoonful, and of course I'm eyeing. Then I take about a tablespoon of the brown sugar, and I sprinkle it on there. Once again, I better say 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then I take the rest of my melted butter, mix it up because I'm mixing it up because it does settle at the bottom. And I am going to, I think I'll use my spoon to do it. I'm going to pour it over the cake mix and the cinnamon that I sprinkle on top. Now I used a whole stick of butter, some on the bottom, the rest on the top. And when this finished cooking, It is delicious. Okay? Now you can pour it. I just decided to use this teaspoon because I'm heavy-handed, as my mother calls it. And I pour it on there. Okay? And then it is ready to go into my preheated oven. I take it and I sit it on the bottom. Let's move this back a little bit. I sit it on the bottom shelf and I let it bake for about 40 minutes, but I do check it. If it needs more, I do more. And voila, my peach cobbler is cooking. I thank you all. Okay, I thank you all for coming. I'll be back to show you the final reveal, but that is my YouTube peach cobbler with Gracie's added spices and preparation, okay? But I promise you, I've tried this before, and it is delicious. Now, you wonder why I have on clothes and all this stuff, because I'm usually in my shorts and t-shirts and all that. It's because I've been to the cancer affiliate, and I've taken my patient. He got a good report. We did blood work today. It was so hard for them to find his veins, but he was excited about it. We have only 3 more weeks, so that's every day for the next 3 weeks. And then we're going to ring that bell real loudly, okay? I want you to be there. I'll ask if I can record it so you can see, but if not, I'll tell you about it.